Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Millionaire Monday. I'm super excited. As promised, this is the first Monday in November, and I have a muggle to interview. We're going behind the scenes in the mindset of a muggle, right? So the thing that I would like to, hey Martha, relay to you guys that there are, how do I say, mentors and examples of success around us that are tangible. And so I am bringing you guys those tangible muggles that you can kind of reach out and touch and glean from, not just the glorious side of being an entrepreneur or a business owner, but the part of it that's hard and rough, the decision making. I know on social media, everybody likes the flash, the aftermath after you made it, but it's a whole lot of steps before you make it. And it's also, hey, Miss Brenda, it's a whole lot of steps before you make it, and it's steps after you make it. Hey, Anthony, it's steps after you make it, right? So making it is only one part. You got to be able to sustain it and then hopefully scale it so you can build a legacy. So I am going to bring on my favorite client, right? He's my hardest client, but he is absolutely my favorite client. I have learned so much from him. Yes, I am good at numbers, but in the grand scheme of things, as an entrepreneur, I'm new. When you compare his experiences and his journey, I'm new. I'm a baby in it, if you will, and so I'm able to glean from his knowledge and team up with him. Hey, Chastity! And so he has 30 years as a successful entrepreneur. 30 years, 30 years. 30 years as a successful entrepreneur, a legacy builder, a wealth creator, not just for himself, but his family and those that he employs, those that he partners with. So without further ado, I introduce to you guys Mr. Anthony York. Hey,
Good,
Mr. York.
good morning. How y'all doing out there in broadcasting world, connecting world? I am Anthony York, owner of Vision Painting Construction, and Nidra has been our advisor, financial person, I think, for 4 years now, 4 years. I'm glad we're connecting as Black business owners need a way to get to each other more than just the internet. To me, the internet gives us a small clip and a way to be able to see each other. But if you need to call someone and talk to someone, because some things you don't want to share. As a business person, we and Black people, we're already close-minded when it comes to financials and downfalls and pitfalls in business. We don't like to share, in which that's not going to get you where you want to be. Because if you really want to be honest, you want to be as honest as you can be to get help. So that's kind of how, in my years, I just been open with if I'm not having a good year, I'm just not having a good year. If I'm not having a good quarter, I'm just not having a good quarter. And the number one thing I've learned to do is adjust. Because being in construction, and I've been through where we stay at, where the economies went down, the house bubble. I've been through the influx of Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, everybody that's coming into construction, and it's been so much that has happened that you have to adjust. And so the main thing that I focus on as an entrepreneur is well, it's a couple of things. One thing is that always make your product or your service the best. It needs to be elite, and don't have favors, don't have picks, because that doesn't get you anywhere. Like some people have favorite clients. That's great when you say favorite clients. That's because that client brings something to you. That's why that becomes a favorite client. Not because you're doing something different that you wouldn't do for someone else. It's just that that client brings you something different. So, and when you go out and meet people, in which you don't know, I'm one business card from $1 million job. So there's just I'm one conversation from $1 million job. I always look at it when I wake up in the morning. Who am I going to meet? And then who do they know? So we always connecting. If we don't connect, you just in this. You just lost. And most of the time, I sit back in the office and like when I talk to people, some people in the 9 to 5 area that aren't entrepreneurs, they have a comfort zone of going to work and don't worry about the work that has to be got or to get in order to do the job. Just like they just go wake up. Oh, I'm going to work. You just think the company's going to be there. Oh, great. But entrepreneurship is not like that. Because when I got 10 jobs on the book and then it's down to one and we into the last week and I'm like, whoa, I'm finna be unemployed. Like I told this guy, he said, well, I've been unemployed, man. I've been looking for. I said, man, I've been unemployed every time my books are empty. But I don't know, understand. I've been fired so many times. I've been laid off, whatever you want to call it. I've been all that. So don't sit here and cry to me, because as an entrepreneur, you can't get into that. Every time your doors are not opening, your phone is not ringing, you got to find out why they are not. You got to investigate, and you got to begin to think, okay, what can I do at the downtime to make me better for the uptime? Always increasing that. I do that all the time. Like if I got 5 hours off and ain't got nothing to do, it's something that I'm supposed to be doing for my company that I hadn't been doing. I didn't have the time to do. So you ain't really got time off. It's just I did. You might be in between jobs. You might be in between clients. You might be in between recession or anything. But that's the time to adjust. Like in 1996, my company was named Vision Painting and More. All right. I went to this lady house in 1998 and I was waiting on this carpenter because I was just doing painting starting out. And I was waiting on this carpenter. She kept saying, I drove by their house and I was waiting on the carpenter to put the facial boards on. And she said, well, I'm waiting on the carpenter. I said, ma'am, could I give you a price on doing the facial boards on the house? Because I had some carpentry skills at that time. I knew I could do those. And I said, well, yeah. She said, well, you know what? I've been waiting on him a couple of weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you give me a price because you already agreed to the paint job. But I was waiting on him in order to do the facial board in order for me to paint. So what I had to do, I realized right then I had to do adjusting. So I went immediately and changed on my truck's Vision Painting and Construction in 1998. And now today I do probably 85% construction rather than painting. Because I said everything gonna be built, gonna be painted. So you always got to adjust and you got to look at each integral or ideal and see which wave is coming. Yeah, like that's why when I worked on my product.
Oh no, I think Mr. York just went out for a minute. He's
We
coming.
buffing. But it was a high quality that I decided to go into. I decided to go into. I'm gonna. I don't want quantity over quality. So I decided to do that. So that's been my sustainer. My sustainer has been quality, because I have had people call me. Well, I just wanted this done right. See, now that's a good way for a person to refer to you. Yeah, I could have got somebody cheaper. Yeah, I could have got somebody probably, whatever, more available in time I was doing it because they wasn't as busy. But I waited on you because I wanted it done right. So as a business person, you setting a standard for yourself. Like I had one guy just passed through here and he come to the office and he said, man, he said I gave him a price on his job. He said, man, you have a wonderful reputation. I mean, it was a white guy. He said, I went around town and I rode. He said, man, you have a wonderful reputation. I said, I don't take it lightly. when people tell me that. It's something to appreciate. You know, like I told Nidra, I said, and this is a process leading up to what you should fall in love with. You should fall in love with your profit at all times. See, some people ain't in love with their profit. They in love with business. They in love with people. They in love with a lot of things. But that none of that matters at the end of the day. Because if you're not profitable, you're not in business. You running business. It's a lot of business that y'all see that are not profitable. They big too. They're huge. But that doesn't mean anything. Because at the end, is the business profitable? I got 10 stores and we file zero.
Always
We don't file, we ain't made money. Or I'm losing 10,000 a month on each store. So you don't you can go out and grab everything you can, but make sure your profit's there. Because it's better to have this one thing I learned in the trade. I never forget this. An old guy told me this. He said a constant nickel is better than a fast quarter. And I took that with me. I took that with me. I took that like I can have 10 jobs going, or I can have 3 jobs going, and I probably can make more off that 3 jobs than I could the 10. It just depends. Because when you got more people, more mistakes, you got everything else to look at. So as entrepreneur, just kind of sip on this. And you are the number one worker in your business. You are. Don't let nobody else outwork your business. You can't come in. You're gonna add to me. That's what you're gonna do. You're not gonna outwork me in my business because I am the creator. So how you outwork the creator? You don't let nobody outwork you in your business. What you want to do is you want them to outthink you in your business, but they can't outwork you because you can hire somebody smarter than you what you do, but they'll never be able to outwork you because you created it. Every time they're thinking about what you're thinking about, you already thought about it. You just ain't have nobody to do
it. You ain't had no help.
Yeah, that's the most problem in entrepreneurship. If somebody come along and act like they came up with some bright idea, you probably had the bright idea, but you just didn't have a person to do it. And it's just like I prayed for Nidra. Me and my wife before we met Nidra, I had been telling her, I said, man, we need a financial advisor. I said, we are touching tons of money, but we not keeping any of it. I said, I don't want to touch 200, 300, 400,000, and I'm not keeping none of it. We are literally operating businesses. I'm doing my business. She doing her business. I'm investing in her business, and we just doing business. We look good. Everybody outside, we look good. I told my wife, like, this is one of my things I say too. I don't want to just look good. I want to be good. See, it's a lot of people look good. See, that's the person that wearing the Jordans ain't got no money in their pocket. They look good. They look good. Yeah, them Jordans ain't them the last ones. Who cares? Is you got any money in your pocket? Or is you got a car? Because some folks got Jordans on and they walk. I'm completely baffled about that. Now, I'm just saying. And I was thankful for the opportunity that Nisha gave me here because I be wanting to explain this to folks. Don't don't take it easy. And another one thing caveat that I that people don't know that I started off in a hatchback and I had a drill. It was a Chevette hatchback. I was economy wise. I don't care what I was economy wise. My battery's going low, but I ain't worried about that right now. I'm be done for the end. But my first drill I owned never went in reverse. So listen to me here. This is part of life. It was harder for me to go in reverse because I had to get a drill, a manual screwdriver to take it out. So every time I got ready to drill at something or go at something, I had to make sure it was right because I knew what it was going to take if I had to back up. So this is a part of business. So every decision, everything you make, every time you go to something, just make sure Then you know what's beautiful about it is when you start a coalition of people that you can call and say, "Hey, what do you think about this idea?" What and then you get some sincere folks, and it's like when I got award at a award show, and I seen all these black people out here, and there was other people voting for us as business owners, and I said, "Man, it's good to see y'all out there." Because there's some nights and some days and some hours you're not gonna see anybody. You're gonna be the one working. You're gonna be the one struggling. You're gonna be the one trying to put the nickel with the quarter and a dollar and trying to pay the bill and trying to make it happen. But in them times, find somebody you can go and ask before you make that put that screw in. Because it's 4 times harder to back up than to go forward.
Wow. Wow. Oh man, Mr. York. Wow. 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 Again, I am, I don't know. I'm so honored to work with you and all my clients. Hey, Miss Monique. I, the wisdom that you share, the fact that we need to be able to adjust our businesses for our clients or our consumers. That's the one thing that I believe that you guys stay successful and even scale during the pandemic is the fact that you've been able to adjust.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing
And
with the pandemic is, I mean, because I've been on the upcline since the pandemic,
I know, which is why I want
and
you here.
that that's what's crazy about it is, it's just because you position yourself. You don't position yourself for a pandemic or anything, but what you got to continue to do is to position yourself. See, like I like just like the last thing happened here, the storm happened. I'm not really needing any of that storm work. I mean, like it's coming to me, but I'm like, it's overwhelmingly like, I'm like, okay, let me do something different that may, I'm gonna have to charge for you to get an estimate now. So I'm just saying, like, I'm doing stuff that because I'm deterring it, like in a way, like I'm gonna get the specific ones I want. But as you branding yourself and as you maintaining what you're trying to get to an establishment, really, it's established. And that's a hard thing for every business. Once you get to that established point, then you start driving the way you want to go. As like normally I would take everything, like what's coming in the door. But now I'm doing more driving it which one I want. And everybody's not gonna be able to do that. And see, some people don't want to, what they want to do is they want to do that start now. And you can't do that start now. See, that's just the problem. You don't do that start now. You could sit down and say, I want to work with $1 million clients start now. But you got
Oh,
to get an
sure.
$8 million client to get another $1 million client because that's who will hang around the other millionaires. See, it's a community. So as I upped every time, I was working for people that worked at the paper mill, and they just workers. Then I started working for the supervisors. Then I started working for all of a sudden they turned me on to one of the department owners. Okay, now I'm getting into the right realm of people that's gonna, see, it's a realm of people that you want to be at. And those realm of people, what happened is when I don't have work, I call those people. I get on my phone and I literally start calling people just out of the blue. Hey, how you doing? I just calling to see if you need any services, anything. You used me before. Do you know anybody or anything? Now I used to have to do that years ago. But that is part of it. Because you got realms of, now you could say, well, you call a worker, you be like, man, hey, man, it's broke. I'm broke. It's economy down. He gonna give you the long story. But people that got money, they always doing something. They're always doing something. They're gonna find you something. If they know you're a business person and that business is hard for you at that point, and you calling them, so they're gonna find you something to do. They might hang up the phone and then think of something and call you back. Anthony, I did have this and such. Boom, there you go. Because that's what you want. See, if you each integral, you moving and you moving towards people like that, that's gonna always think about your profit. And like, is you making money? That's the question. When you're in business, is you making money? Not you in business. Now I don't want to be. That's the main thing I ever want to do. I'm in business to make money, not just for money, but to make money, because that's how my tool works. Everything your tool, your money is a tool. You can't work in the negative. If you work in the negative, it don't feel good. It doesn't feel good. It's like you working, but you spinning wheels, and you every day you open. Okay, did I make $1 today? Okay, if I made $1 a day, I need to make $2 tomorrow. So it's constant. And then if you got to figure out why you ain't making that dollar, because it's hard. It's hard. And ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody coming. In business, you be thinking somebody gonna come. You be wanting somebody to come through the door. But if you don't form a coalition, you don't have. And the main thing is you didn't tell nobody before you was hurt. You didn't let nobody know. You was just in there dying. Think about that. How serious business is. You could be in there dying in your room, but you got a brilliant idea. You got a brilliant talent. And guess what? Somebody's looking for it. Somebody's looking for it. You'd be surprised. The window is open in so many vast different ways for you to use what God has started you on. Your business is just not what you do. It's who you are.
Ooh, that's good.
That's just how I look at it.
Good.
Every time I think, I don't care if it's selling trash bags, I don't care if it's selling rocks. I can go get you a load of dirt. What you know I mean? I'm just in it. I mean, I can't go down and get the dirt for the same price the guy got the dirt for. I got to bring it to you for a little more. So I mean, you know that, because you called down there to the pit and asked me that. Well, they sold it for $100, but I got to go get it. And see, now if you find somebody offended by that, they not for you.
They're not your client.
Yeah, they're not for you. See, because you shouldn't be offended. Nobody never, and black folks, we need to get more about that. I'm not calling you over to my house to do a service that I ain't willing to pay you.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow. Mr. York, I think he went out for a minute.
Yeah, I went out for a minute.
Let me put it on salary.
That is Mrs. York. She is a business owner as well. She owns a daycare center. He's back.
Okay, say what you said again, Miss Nidra.
No, I said that's Mrs. York. She owns a daycare center. We're ready to open up our second one, even during the pandemic.
Yes.
It's finished and ready to go. So I guess, Ms. York, tell us a little bit about your journey of success, really, as a business owner, because you have 15 years in the game.
I guess Mr. York is done with his interview because he got off, threw his water bottle, and said, "I'm done. Now I gotta go to Pastor Goop." Like,
He's gotta go to work now.
Together.
I'm still.
Okay, you still here? Okay, because he had done checked all the way out, Miss Nidra. You know your favorite client.
Always working. I know you got some business to attend to. I know you do.
No, that balance though. That balance. The balance. I need all the viewers to understand that balance is something I preach to him all the time.
Yeah, because he does work. Listen, I would say he is my hardest working client. He's my hard-headed client as well, but he is the hardest working client. Always working. In the morning, late at night, he's always thinking about the next level. And for me, that's what legacies are built on. There is no stop when you're creating a legacy. There's no stop when you're creating wealth and those multiple income. And what I've always gained from him about falling in love with the prophet is the fact that your not that your profit drives you, but it gives you the opportunity to shift based on what is needed when it's needed. Like if painting, like you said, is a priority right now to the consumer and construction is, how do I tap into that to increase my profit or to maintain my profit? And so I've learned that from all of you guys, actually, not just Miss York, but from all of you guys. How has that helped you being partnered with him with your daycare? And you look actually beautiful right now.
Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. I worked hard for you today. Let's see. Being connected to Mr. York. If I tell you what, he pushes you in a whole different perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like perspective. At one point, me and Nidra were thousandaires.
Yeah, y'all. This is insider. But that's the millionaire. He calls us thousandaires. He was Christian,
Yeah.
like thousandaire.
Yeah. And so, like, he don't mind letting you know that he feel like you step your game up. So being connected to him that way, especially being his wife, there is no chill at all. There is no chill. So he makes sure that he keeps us in perspective with what the vision is. So,
Always.
you know,
Always.
always. And that's for everything and everybody connected to him. So we all got to win. And we all got to make sure that we don't have that thousandaire mindset. Because I don't know. But he makes sure that we're all pressing forward to our mark. So for me, I used to say that I was a bit entrepreneur, but that's not really true because I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. I am a fourth generation entrepreneur. Yeah, fourth generation entrepreneur. However, I think that I'm the first in my family to start a child care facility. So Mr. York and myself opened up Faithfully Yours back in 2001, February 2001, I want to say it was.
Mm-hmm. So almost 20 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it'll be 20 years next year, 2021. So we started out with and I don't know how much of this he's told, but how much my story. Really? Okay. Like you right there. Okay, so back in 2001, God came to me, gave me a vision, and let me see the ocean removed. And I was in the middle of it, the water that was in the ocean removed, and I was in the middle of that. And instead of there being a sea of water, there was a sea of children. They were all touching me, calling me my name in different languages. I understood them all. And so they were all touching me. And, like, so I woke up and I knew. So I told my husband about it. And he kind of, which was really good because somebody else, I'm sure, probably would have looked at me and been like, oh, that's insane. You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy. However, Mr. York, being an entrepreneur himself, heard me and went for it. Like, sometimes you got to tell somebody who your dream, and it has to be good planting ground. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to put your seed in good ground. So I did put my seed in good ground because he ran with it. He ran with my dream, and we literally took our last 75 cents and purchased a newspaper on Sunday to start looking for a building. We did not have good credit. We didn't have enough of money to even be looking for no building, but we had this dream, God's plan. And from there, he just blessed us. We started out in our home. We converted our lower part of our house to a child care facility. And every day that those clients would come, I would be like, hey, don't get used to this because we're going into a building. I ain't know where that building was gonna be at, but we was talking about it. And then Katrina happened. And so us being the entrepreneurs that we were, we instead of fixing our house, we had the opportunity to purchase this building. And I know it sounds really crazy. Our story is so unorthodox. It is true leap fashion. We are taking every mountaintop inch of a slab off them mugs. So no parachute, all fake, just jump. And so I after Katrina, we lost our home. So we were staying with my mom. We had 3 small kids. And I was traveling back to her house from our house, because I just checking, making sure there was no looting going on. And I seen this building, and there was a sign, like a car selling sign that said for lease or sale. And the for lease was in like the crumbly part. It was like in the edges. And so I called the man like 30 times before I even made it to my mom's house, which was like 15 minutes away. By the time he called, he was so panicked. He thought maybe his building was on fire, I guess, or something. I don't know. But we named our price. We named our interest rate. On top of that, when I tell people this, we gave him $5 and he gave us
To hold the business. Yeah.
He gave us the key to the building and we opened it up and started working. We were blessed. I have the gift of gab.
Yeah.
So we were blessed with God's true anointing to secure our very first grant that led to over $2.7 million worth of material grants for Faithfully Yours. So I want to say that we're in our 19th or 20th grant, right? Right, Nidra?
We got two more right now.
Right. But in the midst of all of that, we dug ourselves in a hole. I mean, we knew how to operate business, but we were not handling our business. And we were trusting a lot of people to do right by us. You know what I'm saying? People that Anthony knew, that me not knowing much about entrepreneurship, I'm trusting as well. And we got took advantage of, you know what I'm saying? So we got into a lot of tax debt. And so literally Mr. York called forth Nidra. I mean, he called her title down to the last little, ladder. You know what I'm saying? So when I met her, I knew the best asset that came upon our team was having an accountant. Somebody, not just, and let's be clear, certified public accountant is different from an enrolled agent. That is something that we had to learn as a couple, as a business couple. Having someone on your team that can strategize where you're headed, make a plan and a contingency plan and another plan to get you where you're trying to be. It's not enough just to make the money. It's you need a plan, because you will find yourself into a place that you don't want to be. It's just like getting on the highway and you have $100 to make it to where you're going. You have to know how far can $100 get you based off what the gas prices are, if your car got, oil and all those different things. All those things, you need a specialist to help you to assess those things. In her being on our team, we've had that building, our second location, for 5 years. The problem was never securing the assets. The problem was keeping the asset, and we were dying trying to keep them. And just her time of coming in, looking at our finances, looking at how she was going to plan out us getting tax debt free, because we had no other debt. We had good debt. Besides the good debt, we had tax debt. And so she came in, she looked at it, and she funneled that same money that we have been making towards that building. And we were able to open up that building. We were able to use our good asset to open up that location.
Yes, it's beautiful, y'all. It's beautiful.
He did his thing. So you want to make sure that you have the people that you need on your team. Mr. York is designed to be on.
I'm sorry, guys. I think we got a little technical difficulties. Let me give them a minute to get unstuck. But yes, their second location is up and running and ready to go. I think they're back. Let me bring them back on. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I feel like Mr. York was designed to be on my team. And then Nidra was designed to be on our team. Which was something that she came in saying that she was a team member.
It
wasn't somebody, a partner. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't something that she was coming in like we were hiring another company that wasn't a part of our company. So, and that's how we move as a unit. So,
yeah, and know the name of his company is Vision. And I tell people, like, if you don't have a vision, I can't help you. Like, I partner with your vision. The Bible is very plain about writing a vision and making it plain. So I'm part of the day that run with your vision. I'm part of the day. I'm the partnership. And so I'm thankful that God has given me that gift, and it's something Mr. York said that it's not just a business, but it's your ministry almost. What you do really is your ministry. And there's entrepreneurs and business owners and just people all around that are tied to your ministry. They get help by you doing what God has called you to do. And the mere fact that Mr. York can do, like when he was working with the second location, you can take the shell of something and build it out based on what you wanted the location to look like. And it's beautiful now. It's magnificent, you know? And so, yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Oh my God, we've been on almost 40 minutes. So, I thank you guys so much for joining us. That's Miss Sarah York. She's on 2 locations in Mississippi, and Mr. York is all over with construction business. I will tag in Facebook pages when I get off. And so if you're looking for any kind of construction business, any kind of construction work, he's available. I hope he's a little busy right now, so it might take him a little bit to continue. Or if you're looking for any child care services in the Gulfport area, in the Gulf area or Pascagoula area, if you're looking for any child
care, the whole Gulf Coast.
Just reach out to them. I will have all of the information attached. Thank you, Mrs. York. I'm so honored to work with you guys, and I'm honored that you guys were able to join me today on Millionaire Monday. And I will talk to you guys sometime this week. And so, yeah, I'm gonna let you go. Okay, guys. I hope that you guys really enjoyed the behind the scenes of 2 moguls. What it kind of took to get there. They had a long journey. But combined, 20 years and 30 years in entrepreneurship, that's 50 years together that they've been working this thing out. And it wasn't easy, but they're here. They're a success story. I'm grateful and honored to work with them, to be a part of their story. I'll tell anybody, I'm a partner. And it's so important that you partner with other business owners or other entrepreneurs that can take your vision to the next level. Don't think that you can do it alone, because millionaires don't. They don't do anything alone. They strategize. They have a plan. Like Miss York said, it's so important to have a plan. You can make the money and hustle your way or grind your way to 6 figures, but that will not get you to the 7-figure mark, and it won't get you to keeping 6 figures in your pocket. You need a strategy. Okay, so that is all that I have. I have been on here a very long time. Thank you guys so much for staying on with me. Hey, Anthony. Hey, Chastity. Hey, Miss Cherie. Hey, Shannon. I hope that I shouted everybody out. Miss Bianca, everybody out that was here, that was talking to me, that joined us today. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in there. In the chat or whatever, and I'll try to get back to you, or a member of my team will try to get back to you. And then join us next week for Millionaire Monday. I will have another mogul on talking to you guys. She's a crafter, so she's in the e-commerce business. And so for all my e-commerce entrepreneurs and small business owners, you can glean from her wisdom, because she definitely went from 0 to 6 in a 12-month time. And so that's always exciting to see what it's like maneuvering the world and the entrepreneurship right now in the pandemic. Okay, so that's, again, all that I have. I will see you guys next Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good day.